Greetings, Inquisitors. Welcome to the Holocron. This is the Week 97 update for the Darth Loquitur account. I update this account's progress every week, go through all the character upgrades, plans for the future, things I'm thinking about, so that people can follow along. If you like this content, please remember, get out your lightsaber, hit that like button. Helps me, helps the channel, and I sure would appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. Let's find out what happened in Week 97. Our target is to get Echo in Week 98. We're close on Echo, but not quite there yet. Still got some pieces left to farm. Conquest coming up, so we'll be able to get a bunch of extra gold gear pieces out of Conquest, so that'll be good. We've committed to working on Commander Luke Skywalker here, so we give him a Carbonti for the week. This is a Mark IV Carbonti, so I don't think he has any Carbontis on this level. I'm just checking to see what kind of gear it is. And so we'll go ahead and lock that in. And we get the upgrade for Gear 13. And that's the same finisher that we would use for Echo. I haven't locked down Echo's finisher yet. But, man, I'm just looking at it going, oh, that's so tempting. And then the Wampa's also at upgrade. So, just so happens that Commander Luke and Wampa are pretty much the same right side pieces. So, they're both ready to Relic. But we're going to skip that for now. Keep working on Raddus. This particular level, Raddus has 3 Chirotechs. Now, I farmed up to 400 Chirotech shock prods, and I felt like I'm the richest this account has ever been. And he's using 150 of them for a non-relic gear tier, all in one shot. We want to get him there, though. He's really a long way from 7 stars, so I was tempted not to do it, but we got to commit it sooner or later, and let's do it while we have it. This Omicron for Grand Arena. If we're going to make a team out of him, we might as well start now. So we'll put the Omicron on, we'll put the Zeta on to keep Jyn Erso alive. And then we'll go in here and we'll take a look at these mods. And I don't have fantastic mods for him. And he's not Gear 12 yet even, so I can't put 6-dot mods on him. So I'm just going to put a starter set on him. Put on some training wheels, so to speak. And I think we end up putting on a speed set and then also a defense set maybe. Or a health set, something like that. So we're just going to try to make him a little bit speedy, a little bit healthy. Get a protection main stat there on the cross. Looking for health here on the main stat. I don't feel like Raddus is going to be the main damage dealer for this. Maybe I'm mistaken, and once we get the team up and running, I'll find out something different. But for right now, it seems like other characters on the team are going to be doing the damage. So I just make him a little bit of speed, a little bit of, whatever else we can get on him. Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, again, just a character that we have to build for Biston's U-Wing. May end up being something that we have to invest in more later, so we're going to go ahead and put stuff on him. And it's tempting to do Biggs, but Biggs is a long time before we need to have him Relic or Gear 12. And that Mark IV Chedak comlink is pretty precious, so we don't want to throw that away on something that isn't needed right now. Taking a look at this ARC Trooper, that's the last of our clones. We're going to go ahead and lock down gear here so I don't accidentally use it up on somebody else. Use up all the good pieces. We do need another Mark 8 bio there, another stun gun. This is more Carbontis, so we've got two Carbontis needed for this gear tier for ARC Trooper. We're pretty close to finishing him out. Need 54 shards. Coming back out here to the main screen, this is just too tempting. And in the end, Wampa wins out over CLS. I feel like with a Relic CLS, that team would get a lot better. But with a Relic Wampa, we're pretty much going to be getting a free win somewhere in GAC. So I would rather, make use of that. So we run out of carbonite circuit boards, then we come in here, we make some bronzium wiring, and then at Relic 5 we also run out of bronzium wiring and the carbonite again. So we're really low on materials there. I'm going through Wampa's mods now that he's Relic. I really want to have the best mods that I can on him. So we're looking for things with health main stats, considering just, bringing his potency up and then, or his tenacity up, and then just giving him health. Defense isn't so bad. We get him up to 67,000 health with basically 140% tenacity. Again, it's just to try to resist the initial stun if we try to take out Iden Versio teams. We don't want Iden stunning us on that first turn. But it would be better if we had all tenacity sets. So now I go back through again, and I say, okay, what does this look like? And I can get it to 154% tenacity, but I really lose a lot of health. I don't have the tenacity mods, and I don't want to take them off of other good characters at the moment. So we're kind of stuck. Maybe not the perfect mods for Wampa the way I want them, but not bad either. We got these to spare, so we'll lock one of those down on CLS and leave him alone for now. We're always short on pre-taunt dark side tanks. It would be good to have this Sith Empire trooper up and running. Put a little bit of effort into him just to get him started. Work on him like a lot of characters over the course of many weeks and see if we can get him built up to the point where at least he can be a speed bump for us where we need a dark side pre-taunt tank. B1 has an upgrade, and this is use of those Mark IV comm links, and for sure we're going to need B1 Relic at some point. So while we've got that, let's say, extra set of the comm links, I'm going to go ahead and bring up B1's level. Princess Leia is a character that we're going to have to use someday. She's down here at gear 8. And we have some extras of the Mark III holo projector this week. So with some of these characters that I need to bring up that I know are just waiting on holo projectors, we're going to go ahead and get them a couple gear tiers here. Use up those holo projectors. Now we're to a tier where we're using a little too much good stuff. So we're not going to invest in that just yet. We got Scavenger Ray here. If we're going to go for JML at some point, we will need Jedi Training Ray, which means we need to farm up some resistance characters and get that going. I take a look at my veteran Han and veteran Chewie, also going to need them for the Jedi Training Ray, and they're both unlockable. Got a few shards here and there of them, so we can get them both started, but Cantina farms for both of them, and really quite a long way to go. Now we'll come in. This very last thing we're going to do is we're going to lock down a few gear pieces on Raddus. And again, this just helps me with farming, because once I see which pieces are missing and which ones I have to buy out of the shops, that helps me. And we need more of these binoculars. We need a ton of these for finishers on gear 13. We need a ton of them for character upgrades. So over the course of the weeks, we'll be farming quite a few of those. Get our 7th star on the IG-2000. That's good. And when the Executor event comes up here in 10 days, we'll be able to grab that and get that. We won't be able to get the ship to 6 stars, but we will be able to get more shards and get the access to the bonus tier. So that's good. Biston's U-Wing, we can put a little effort over here. Again, we got to build it eventually, and just throw some credits at it. Han's Millennium Falcon, another ship that we want to be good. If it's good sooner rather than later, that's better, because we do kind of have a little rebel cleanup fleet going on with our account. So it won't be bad to get Millennium Falcon just a little better. And then looking through here, I realized that I've got the Endurance ready to go to 7 stars, but not enough credits for that. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in favorites. Remind myself for next week that I need to spend 2 million credits getting that Endurance to 7 stars. Or 2 million shipbuilding materials. I just think of them as credits. Home 1 is still not 7 stars. It's crazy to think, but somehow I haven't been in enough events to get home 1 to 7 stars still. We only have one more event to go, but we'll get there. And then in going up through, I saw that Slave 1 still needed some more skills, and I thought I'd finished that ship, but apparently I still had a couple Ship Omega skills left to put on it, so we finished out the Slave 1. Now we got the Outrider. We can go ahead and put some skills on that. And again, we'll have to work on that ship at some point. So that's it for the improvements for this week in the account. Really a lot of little upgrades. It was really surprising how many gear upgrades I got to click this week. And some of them were relatively low-level gear upgrades, but I feel like we really used up tons of gear. Got Raddus some levels, got CLS, a couple gear tiers, got him to gear 12. Got Wampa that we didn't quite expect to get. So at week 97, that puts us at 4.79 million galactic power, rolling up toward that 5 million mark. Working on fleets with that profundity, so the 5 million will come around quite quickly. Ships really build a lot of galactic power. Relics, we've got 46 relics now. 62 Zetas with the Zeta that we added to the Raddus. In Squad Arena, JMK can still get us top 10. Fleet Arena, Executor can get us top 5. The Relic target is still Echo for next week. So next week's farming has changed quite a bit. In the regular energy, we're still farming Raddus twice a day. We're going to start farming Rey, especially off the dark side node where her ship also is. And we're going to start working on Vandor Chewbacca, finishing him out. We've only got like 60 shards left to go on Vandor. But when Dash gets relicked, we're going to want to have a team that includes Vandor and L3. So we got to get Vandor finished out. Hux, First Order Stormtrooper, some stuff like that. And we'll position ourselves so that when we're done with Profundity, we'll be working on the JML journey, but we'll also be working on the Finalizer requirements and try to get the Finalizer fleet up and running ahead of our attempts to get SLKR. So I would rather get that fleet underway, get that farm started, and then we'll have plenty of time to get the Finalizer to 5 or 6 stars by the time we start relicking characters. I think SLKR will come after JML. Of course, who knows what they'll bring to the game between now and then that'll change my mind, but we'll see. In Fleet, we're working on Biston, the Outrider, and the Echelon. In Cantina, finishing out that ARC Trooper, working on signal data. Mods, we'll farm some offense this coming week. Refreshes, I put 3 on everything. We'll talk about that more here in a minute. In Squad Arena, we're still buying Prestige only because we still have to have enough Prestige for Executor and also the Profundity when we get that. So when we get up to about 2,500 Prestige or so, then we can lay off of that and go back to buying some gear. So basically we have to have enough to get Profundity built up at 4 to 5 stars, and then we have to, whenever we get the Executors 6 stars, we'll have to invest more in the skills over there. So don't want to run out of Prestige. In the Fleet Store, we're looking for Biston's U-Wing, First Order ships, and characters, and then Zeta materials. Everything else is feeding the Shard Shop. Now there is one small change in the Guild Event Store. Typically in the Guild Event Store, we've been buying Kairos with the Get 2. We've got Rolo done and both of the capital ships, so we can use that for Cairo, especially for the shock prods. And we've been building Hermit Yoda and Wampa for the longest time. But now that Hermit Yoda and Wampa are both done, I do have a period where I have some freedom to save the Get 1 currency again. No gas on this account, no Malik, so we still need to spend a lot of Get 1. But for right now, I can also use that to buy Biston's U-Wing out of the shop. So that'll take, some pressure off of that farm. So I'll buy some Biston's U-Wing with Get 1 as well. That's not something I would typically do, but I think in the situation that I'm in now, it's okay. I'm not looking to grab gas anytime soon. He's close, though. I mean, really, gas wouldn't be that hard. If I relic that B1 and put a little effort on a couple characters like Asajj Ventress, I'd have the gas unlock. So unlocking gas and having him at 5 stars isn't that exciting. And since I don't have the get one, I'm not in that big of a hurry. So it's not like the length of a journey that's keeping me away. It's just the fact that it's a long time before I'd have him to 7 stars anyway. And I'd rather save up a bunch of the get one first before I go ahead and invest the resources to get him. So it was a bit of surprise getting all the gear for either CLS or Wampa to Relic. I didn't, I saw it last week. I saw that Wampa's gear was really quite far along and that we might get Wampa pretty easily, but just happened to get a couple rewards from events that finished off that second piece and put it in a position where I could get the Wampa. And then Wampa and CLS had enough of the same gear that it was one or the other of them that could be relicked. So the decision to go with Wampa is just for GAC, and it's going to help me hopefully deal with Iden Versio teams or General Grievous teams. And against those teams, if it works out according to plan, it's pretty much a free win against teams that would otherwise take a pretty serious effort. So we took Wampa to 5. I think I'm going to want him at Relic 7 eventually to take on the high Relic Grievous teams, but for now we'll just go ahead and put him at 5. We're so low on the Carbonite and Bronzium that we really can't go further right now, even if we wanted to. So in order to get back on track with Carbonite, I am going to specifically farm light side 1F. I do have crystals on this account that are, let's say, quote, extra, above and beyond what I'm normally doing, but I'll talk about that here in a minute. So one thing you can do if you're low on Carbonite circuit boards, there's a rotation in the shop, and they occasionally have a pack in there where you can buy Carbonite circuit boards. I think you pay 500 crystals and you get a random amount. But that's a really good deal. Even the lowest number on the random is worth almost twice the crystal cost in conversion. And if you get a high roll, it's worth up to like 4 times or more of the cost of crystals that you're spending. So that pack and the Bronzium pack for crystals out of the shop are pretty good. So if I didn't have something else to do with my crystals, then potentially I could just solve the problem that way. But I've got other plans for my crystals, so I'm going to spend 1 week just farming all the hard nodes that I'm farming, of course, but then the extra energy I have left over beyond the hard nodes will be spent on light side 1F. We'll see how many of these Carbonite circuit boards we can generate in a week. Profundity's looking good. I saw some of the initial testing on it. The 4-star testing looked really good. The 7-star testing didn't seem to change much. And the starting lineup was, I guess, what I expected with the Millennium Falcon, the Outrider, and the tank. And then on Arnold's stream, he said that the Phoenix weren't that well geared. Maybe gear 12 on his account, but I don't think they're relicked. And he was crushing stuff with those anyway. So it looks like the commitment to those Phoenix ships isn't going to be that significant of a thing where we have to relic all of our Phoenix. So we'll work on Profundity. We'll expect to have to relic Han and Chewie right afterwards to get that Millennium Falcon the best that it can be. So yeah, pretty satisfied with that. But then I don't have to save up crystals in order to try to get that to 5 or 6 stars right away. I can just leave it at the unlock and let it build up over time. So with that in mind, let's talk about the Cantina burden. Looking forward to my next arc of building in this account, there is just a crazy amount of stuff that I need from the Cantina right now. We need the Arc Trooper to finish out that Trooper set. We need Dash, of course, for the Profundity. We need Kyle for the Raven's Claw to try to get a second fleet up and running under Home 1 once we got Profundity on the board. If we're going to do JML, we need Vet Han and Chewie for Jedi Training Rey. We need Captain Han still for JML. We need L337 for the Dash team. Executioner eventually for First Order if I do SLKR. So there is just really a lot of stuff that I need out of the Cantina. And if I want to do that Sith Empire Trooper, that's another one. That's another Cantina farm. I don't have Ebon Hawk. So eventually I need to farm the Ebon Hawk too. So really a lot of stuff out of the Cantina for this account coming up. So that's what I'm going to do with my crystals. And right now I have a pretty good economy. Every week I'm able to save about 1,000 crystals. And that's with doing 3 refreshes on regular energy, fleet energy, mods, and then doing about 6 refreshes on Cantina every week. I still end up with about 1,000 extra crystals on average. So if I were to go every day on Cantina refreshes, that would be 15 more refreshes per week. I'm already doing it on 2 days, so that'd be 5 more days, 3 per day. And I don't think I'm generating 1,500 crystals per week routinely. So basically what I'm going to do, I'll set my base of my crystals somewhere around 750 to 1,000. If I ever need something out of the shop, the pieces that I buy, worst case scenario, I'll need to spend 750 to get 50 of something that costs 15 crystals per shard. So if I set that baseline for my crystals around 750, then I've got kind of the whoopsie button to push if I really need some gear somewhere. But otherwise, that's what I'm going to do. Every day I'll do my regular refreshes, and then I'll just run my energy down to about around 1,000. And I'm not sure I'll get my 3 refreshes in Cantina every day, but it certainly will be at least 10, somewhere between 10 and 15 extra refreshes per week. And of course, that's going to use up then pretty much all of my crystals. But again, if I don't have to spend crystals on Finalizer to get SLKR, I don't have to spend it on Profundity to get it started up right away, and I don't have to spend it on Executor. So I can just farm up those things in the account over time and use the crystals to smash out some of these Cantina characters that I need. So that's kind of the changes. That's the change in outlook for the farming plan based on what I see for this week. Really need to start focusing on some Cantina stuff. And then if I ever want Star Killer, that's even on top of all that, because I'll have 2 of the Star Killer characters, so finishing out the Talon after that may not be a terrible idea sometime next year. We'll see. All right, thank you all for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. Remember to hit that like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Subscribe if you want to see more like this in the future. Leave comments down below, anything you like, don't like, you think relicking Wampa was a bad choice, whatever you guys have to say, let me know. And join us over on the Discord. I got a wonderful Discord. The link is in the description for the holocron down below. Click that. Come over, be part of our community. Even if you're not a very talkative person or a brand new player who doesn't know much, you can still come on over there and just watch what other people are saying and learn a lot from that. All right. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next holocron.